for Jordan, who's the manager of that region, this was a seemingly huge project on top of an already heavy workload. And I'm sure she won't mind me sharing that a week or so, she was super motivated though, and is super capable. But a week or so after that meeting, she shared with us that she had considered sending an email to myself and to Toby saying, I just don't think I can do this right now. My workload is too intense. And the reason I share this is because she then had access to the video trainings. And in those early short videos, some of which are only 2-3 minutes long, she had a really big mindset shift and rolled her sleeves up and really got stuck in. So I asked her, because this is such a common thing for anyone in a leadership role, it's very hard to do those really important tasks that are not urgent. So I asked her, what would she say to somebody that's in a similar position and is perhaps thinking they don't have the time to invest in a coaching and leadership development program?
I'd say that you've definitely just got to make that time, because it gives you the tools to get through the bits that are holding you back anyway. So you might be thinking it's hard now, but it's going to be even harder later down the line if you don't just take that time out to get it done, basically, because it helps you in the long run. So just do it.
Toby, you are like many busy directors, short on time often, but one of the things that really struck me in terms of the feedback you've given me is that you found the digital materials useful. And the fact that you could download them and listen to parts of it in your car when you're driving to work or driving to a meeting. Would you agree that that was beneficial?
I think you call it the net time, don't you? No extra time, that you just be listening to. But I think the whole course, probably for me, I was just thinking then when Jordan, I agree with most of what all of what George said, but for me, it changed the way I think. That was the main thing, because I've been at SMS a long period of time, changing the way I think was critical for us to move forward, and that's probably done that. The little tips, the time target tips, the bit about what you're doing, even to your morning routine, what parts of your brain you don't wake up, or what parts you don't want to stay in, your survival brain and things like that. They were probably the bits that I really needed at that period of time. Rather than, like Georgia said, being in a classroom, because we probably would have done the classroom on together. I don't know if we would have gone somewhere to do it, but would have been sat there and listening to things probably we already knew. I know that sounds a bit arrogant, but it would have been about, the normal management, and this was more about changing the way, we think, I think, on it, George, more than anything, because it certainly changed that for us, and the mentality about what we should be concentrating on.
Yeah. And then when we change the way we think, we change the way we behave. That's the key thing,
And people do around you. It's amazing that, like you say, Jordan, you've seen that success, that you get people thinking like that, and that the reason why, that was the biggest thing, wasn't it? The framework.
Yeah.
People know their why. They generally more like, they want to follow you more. So. Definitely, I think that framework was definitely a game changer for us, and it will be, because that's how we'll run everything.
I think having the support as well, because if you was in a classroom, I don't think you'd be able to apply situations. So even with the coaching alongside the course, I'd always come to Alison and say, this happened this week, this is what I've done. And then she was able to give me feedback as well, to be like, yeah, keep applying the framework. And if things didn't quite go, if I'd applied the framework and I didn't get the outcome that I thought I was going to get, I'd go confused and think, why did that not work? And then Alison would be reassuring to say, it worked, but this is why, this is what you need to tweak, this is what you need to do next. So I think if I'd have done a classroom situation and it didn't work and you didn't have that support as well, you'd be kind of thinking, you just wouldn't use it because you think, well, it doesn't work. But there's other reasons why it didn't land the first time.
think that's the most important thing, isn't it, Jordan? If we'd done the City and Guilds or classroom bit, we wouldn't have had Alison. That's probably the main.
Yeah.
That's the main difference with it. So, yeah, thank you, Alison, because I certainly, and I know Jordan does, really appreciate it. And we've got more out of this than certainly, I'll speak for myself here. I've got more out of this sort of training than I've got out of any other training for quite a long time.